Ladies and gentlemen, success is not built on success.
Is built on failure and frustration.
Even though it's hard, together we can.
Therefore, allow us to give you greetings.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Salve, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Good morning and best wishes for all of us, and welcome to Smanwan Bajawa.
The honorable judges,
We also respect the teachers and audience.
and who I love and proud of all the participants of English speech competition.
In short, ladies and gentlemen, both those watching in live and online. In front of us, the judges was present. They are Mr. Steph, Mrs. Erlyn, and Mr. Lawrence.
I'm Olive,
And I am Diane,
and we will be the master of ceremonies in today's marvelous event. Before we start our event, we will read out the rules for our activities this morning. First, participants deliver a speech for a minimum of 5 minutes and a maximum of 7 minutes.
Second, call for participants maximum of 3 times based on the lottery number. If you are not present, you will be disqualified.
Third, participants are not permitted to use any text or notes.
Fourth, the participants wear national uniforms.
Fifth, participants are not permitted to bring mobile phones.
Sixth, if there are equal score, the judges team will determine the winner based on the highest score in mastery of the material.
7. The decision of the judges are absolute and cannot be contested.
If you hear the bell ring twice, it means 5 minutes have passed.
And if you hear the bell ring 3 times, it means the time is over.
Okay, let's start by welcoming participant number 1 with a big applause.
Participant with serial number 1, the stage is yours.
Check, check. Check, check, check. Abraham Kelvin Pajo, and I'm very honored to stand here in front of you all in this great stage to talk about something serious, something that is very crucial, that it could decide our nation's future. It is budget efficiency. Now I know maybe budget efficiency sounds complicated or sounds hard to understand, but maybe sometimes it sounds boring too. But I want to ask you something. How many of you here want better schools, or better hospitals, or better roads, better internet, or maybe in the future where no one is left behind? Yeah, that is exactly what budget efficiency is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia is full of potential. We are not short of smart people. We are not short of dreams. But sometimes that we lack is one thing and only thing. It is focus. And that is why budget efficiency matters. Let's take the data from Indonesia's Ministry of Finance in 2024. They have recorded that our national budget reached over 3,000 trillion rupiah. Wow, that's a big number right there. 3,000 trillion rupiah. Sadly, that is part. It's more than 20% of government's project experience inefficiencies, whether due to cost overruns, delays, or mismanagement. So let us imagine, what could have been if we could save even just half of that wasted budget. We could fund thousands of new schools, we could renovate thousands of hospitals, and we can provide millions of scholarships for students across Indonesia. Imagine if we could use our national budget fully, wisely, transparently. No waste, no corruption, no unnecessary spending. Just real impact to our nation. If we do all of that, schools in rural areas could have real science labs. Hospitals could have been equipped with proper tools and enough doctors. And students like us could get better education, better scholarship, better opportunity. But for that to happen, we need leaders that are more care about the result than just the headline, than just what are they talking in the media. We need a system where they reward those who build, not just those who spend. And we, the younger generation, the next generation of Indonesia, we all here must care. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just about them. This is not just about the government. This is not just about the adults. This is about us. We are the one who are gonna live in the future that they are designing right now. So if we stay silent, things might stay the same. The corruption thing, the inefficiency might stay the same. But if we raise our voices, if we demand efficiency, we demand honesty, we demand real progress, we can take part of the generation that doesn't just talk much, doesn't just talk big, doesn't just complain, but take action and create change. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia's future won't be decided by how much money we have, okay? But how efficient, how well, how wise we manage, how wise we use it. And I believe, and I very believe, that if we act boldly, if we act wisely, and together, we can build the Indonesia that we all dream of. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's give applause to participant number one. Okay, there is no question, but I just want to know well about the understanding, the content of your English speech. Are you sure the applying of science lab in school, in rural areas, proper tools and enough data as the impact of the budget efficiency? I just want to know of your opinion. Thank you.
Thank you for the, I should say, question. Thank you for your question, Mr. Parent. Okay, my understanding about the budget efficiency affects studies and hospitality. It's because the first thing is I am a student and I care more about the education side, and about the hospitality, because I know that there's many branch of our life, like politics, something else. But why I boldly talk about hospitals and education is because I think that is the most crucial things that we all need here in Indonesia. Because if we can say the real facts in, I should say in Indonesia Timur, Indonesia bagian Timur, I can call it scare about langka, scare about good hospitals, good education. We're scared because I am from Indonesia bagian Timur juga, Indonesia bagian Timur too. So I boldly talk about that because that's the main concern I should take in Indonesia bagian Timur.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, what an inspiring speech.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm excited for the next participant.
All right, so let's welcome participant number 2 with a big applause.
Participant number 2, the time is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity given to me. First of all, let us express our gratitude to the Lord Almighty for His blessing that allow us to gather here in good health and spirit to commemorate the National Education Day. I am Carmelita Antonia Maria Vea from Senior High School 2, Bergabung. Today, I would like to deliver a speech entitled, Managing Budget Effectively is the Key to Achieve the Goals. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know the budget allocation strategy can be applied to achieve maximum efficiency? It is often said, big budget do not guarantee a good result, and a good result do not necessarily require big budget. This highlight is the importance of budget efficiency. Budget efficiency refers to the careful allocation of financial research to achieve maximum value at the minimum cost. It ensures that every expenditure contributes meaningfully to achieving organizational or society goals while minimizing waste and avoiding unnecessary spending. Budget efficiency is not merely about reducing costs. It is about optimizing research to produce maximum outcomes with minimal input. It focuses on essential aspects such as education, health, and social welfare. In today's rapidly changing world, where economic uncertainty and the global challenge persist, understanding and implementing budget efficiency is more critical than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, in Indonesia, the government has started to implementing budget efficiency initiative. For instance, the free meal programs aims to improve student nutrition, particularly among low-income families, by providing healthy meals in schools. This program seeks to reduce hunger, enhance nutrition, and support the vulnerable communities while contributing to better educational outcomes. However, this program has sparked debates. Some argue that it may foster dependency on the government assistance among younger generations. Other questions whether allocating significant funds to these programs is the most effective decisions, considering other vital sectors like education, health, and infrastructures also require attention. This concern reminds us of the need for careful prioritization in budget allocation. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the implementing budgeting systems are also seen in educational sectors. The government, through the Ministry of Education and Culture, implement the school operational assistance or BOSS programs, which aims to improve the quality of educations by providing direct funds to schools. These funds are used for various purposes, such as book purchases, facility improvement, and teacher training. With these systems, the allocation of funds become more targeted and can be evaluated based on performance of its schools. Ladies and gentlemen, to achieve budget efficiency, we must identify and eliminate unnecessary expense. This can be done by cutting administrative costs, utilizing technology for streamlined processes, or negotiating better deals with service providers. Budget efficiency is not just about saving money. It is about maximizing research to achieve sustainable progress. It requires meticulous planning, transparency, and a commitment to using research wisely. By prioritizing urgent needs, leveraging technology, and optimizing human research, we can ensure every fund allocated delivers the greatest benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, let us work together to adopt efficient budgeting practices. By doing so, we can create a sustainable development and improve the welfare of our communities. With proper planning and research management, we can ensure we can avoid waste and achieve meaningful progress. Thank you for your kind attention. I hope my speech today will inspire all of us to take the concrete steps towards better budget management. Have a nice day.
Okay, good. I like what you have delivered, and I really appreciate with the highlights. Big budgets do not guarantee good results. So, do you think the event like this, if we can compare the stage last year and this year, is so different? So the event like the stage like this is one of the example, the real example of how to managing budget effectively.
So, thank you for the questions. Like they often say, big budget do not guarantee a good result, and a good result do not necessarily require big budget. And I think this budget efficiency have to, and I think the allocation of budget efficiency have to
should have the value. It means like that.
Yeah.
It should have the value, not just to entertain others. Okay, that's nice. Thank you, girl.
Nelson Mandela once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done."
And let's welcome participant number 3 to come up to the stage with a big applause.
Investing in education means investing in our nation's future. A well-educated population helps create new ideas, economic growth, and social progress. When we prioritize education, we are not just funding schools, we are building the leaders of tomorrow. Good morning, the honorable judges and everyone here. To start my speech, I would like to thank God for His blessing and love, so that we all can be here today in a good condition. I'm Mariana Taliandang, and I'm going to talk about the impact of budget efficiency on education development in Indonesia. Well, I believe that the budget efficiency is not a new term we hear in today's era of government. Our president, at the beginning of his leadership, made a breakthrough by cutting government budgets to fund his priority programs, known as budget efficiency. Of course, the education sector was affected by this. The Ministry of Education and Culture had a budget cut of 8.03 trillion, and the Ministry of Research and Technology faced cut of 22.54 trillion. As we all know, education in Indonesia still needs a lot of attention, and with these cuts, the quality of education will not get better. It will get worse. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Education in Indonesia has many challenges. We have made progress, but there are still many things that need to be fixed in our system, such as many schools lack basic resources, high tuition fees, and many teachers struggle to provide the quality of education we deserve. But can you imagine what will happen if the budget meant to improve our system is cut? Ladies and gentlemen, let me share some examples of what might happen to our education system if budget cuts continue. First, budget cuts can burden important areas like education, infrastructure, and teacher training. Education in Indonesia is known for its lack of facilities. Many schools do not have adequate learning resources, like comfortable classrooms and good access roads, especially in remote areas. Additionally, budget cuts will greatly affect funding for teacher development programs. Teachers in Indonesia need professional development to have a more real impact on students. This is an important area that the government needs to pay attention to, as the quality of education could decrease. Second, another very important point is funding for scholarships for students from low-income families and tuition fees. If these cuts happen in the name of efficiency, many children from low-income families will suffer. As a result, many students could drop out of school. This will create a new problem, right? Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand at these crossroads, we must ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want for the next generation? Education is the foundation upon which we build our societies. It shapes our values, drives our economy, and fuels our innovation. However, if we keep cutting important funding, we risk not only the present but also the future of our nation. Think about it for a moment. Imagine a classroom where every child has access to modern learning tools, where teachers get ongoing training and support, and where every student, regardless of their background, can follow their dreams without financial problem. This is not just a dream, it is a possibility, but it needs commitment and investment. We must demand that our leaders prioritize education in their budgets, not as a second thought, but as a necessity.
Every rupiah invested in education is rupiah, invested in our nation's future. So, what can we do, ladies and gentlemen? It starts with awareness. Share the message. Discuss the quality, discuss the importance of education funding in your communities. Ladies and gentlemen, connect with local leaders and policymakers. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I urge you all to remember thank you.
Okay, get relaxed, please. Okay, more relaxed. Yeah, I think you have prepared your speech very, very good. So, no more question for me. I only ask you, I forgot to remember your name. Can you told me your name, please?
My name is Alia.
Okay, Anna. Who is your headmaster? Who is your headmaster?
SMA Negeri 1 ST.YOH.
You are from SMA Negeri 1 ST.YOH.
Yes.
So, who is your headmaster? Sister or Mrs.? Okay, Anna, get relaxed, please. Yeah, get relaxed. Mrs. or Mr.? Mr.
Mrs. 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 Liber.
Mrs. Liberta. Okay. And who is your English teacher? Miss Susan. Okay. Please remember me to your headmaster and your English teacher, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, participant number 3, for a very beautiful speech.
All right, let us welcome with a big applause for the participant number 4.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The most respectful jurists, the committee of speech context who are respectfully as well, the participants, and all of the audiences. First of all, let us praise the Almighty God. Because of His blessings, we are still in a good condition. It is an honor for me to be given a chance to deliver a speech on the topic, the importance of budget efficiency in achieving public prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, in this era of increasing economic challenges and limited resources, the ability to manage our finance wisely is more important. Budget efficiency is not just about cutting costs. It is the practice of ensuring that money we spend gives maximum benefit. We also can manage funds wisely and prioritizing the most urgent and important needs. This means that every expense should have a purpose, optimal result, and contribute to the achievement of set goals. Nowadays, the financial resources are often limited but must continue to grow. We can manage our budget and determine the success or failure of our collective endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, why is budget efficiency so important for public prosperity? Here, I would like to highlight two reasons. The first is improved public service, and the second is economic growth. We can provide better public services like quality of education, healthcare, and infrastructure that support economic growth. Efficiently, we can achieve more with less. Public prosperity is less. Public prosperity is access. Ladies and gentlemen, budget efficiency empower government to invest in essential public services. Budget efficiency and public prosperity is undeniable. When budgets are managed effectively, we can see to improvements in critical areas such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. By investing in preventive care, leveraging technology to improve administrative efficiency, we can expand access to quality healthcare, improve health outcomes, and reduce the burden of healthcare integration, and infrastructure maintenance can enhance learning outcomes, prepare the student with the skills they need for the future, and create more equitable education. Ladies and gentlemen, the second is budget efficiency fosters responsible fiscal management, reduce debt, controls inflation, and create opportunities for economic advancement and build a more resilient and prosperous economy. By budget efficiency, the government can keep a stable of the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, to achieve public prosperity, of course, there are some challenges like corruption, political pressure, and also misallocation of resources. So, what can we do to promote budget efficiency in achieving public prosperity? Firstly, we must prioritize transparency and accountability in our budgeting process. Transparency and accountability are crucial for achieving budget efficiency. Transparency management allows us to track the use of funds precisely, while accountability builds trust among the public, ensuring that money is used wisely and is trust and that resources. In the context of government, the public must see how their taxes are being spent to build a strong sense of trust and confidence. Transparent budgeting process, that there is trust in how funds are being spent, accountability mechanism should be in place to ensure that the budget is managed properly, in that resources are used for their intended purposes. When we are careful with our spending, We are more likely to be accountable for our decisions. This is the way to trust our government. Secondly, we must only spend what we need to. The principle of spending what we need is the foundation of wise financial management. In this era, it's easy to get caught up in impulse purchases that do not provide long-term value. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, achieving budget efficiency is not simply about reducing expense, but ensuring that money we spend brings the greatest possible return in terms of value, service, and benefit. In our daily life, it's important that we recognize the significance of using in a way that optimizes outcomes and our goals. When government operates efficiently, citizens experience improvements in our funds should reflect the most important and urgent areas, ensuring that resources are directed toward that budget efficiency can achieve public prosperity. But who said? An efficient budget is one that balances needs and wants and make room for saving and investment. I hope you get some point of my speech, and thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, I like your spirit. Girls must be like that. Yeah, I interested with what you have written, that we must only spend what we need. Yeah. As a student, what do you prefer? If you have the money, what do you prefer? Want to have a party with your friends when you get 17, or buy a motorbike to make you easier to go to the school? So what do you choose as a teenager? You say that what we need, just spend what we need, spend budget what we need. So what do you prefer? Make a party to celebrate your 17 with friends, or buy a motorbike to make you easy to go to school? Just choose one. Which one? A or B? Just say what, A or B? Choose one of them. A, make party with friends, and B, buy a motorbike. So what do you think? What do you choose? B. Okay, thank you. You good as a chairman in the future. Thank you.
Zig Ziglar once said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great."
All right, so let's welcome participant number 5 with a round of applause. Welcome everyone. Good morning and best wishes to all of us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, salve, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. The Honorable Judges, Moderator, Timekeeper, whom I respect, ladies and gentlemen, and I am proud of my extraordinary college and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let us present of God Almighty,
Because of His blessings, grace and love will can still gather in this place in good health. Ladies and gentlemen, before I deliver my speech, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Maria Indah Paninawela. You can call me Nena. Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to raise a topic that is very relevant to our country's economic policy, namely budget efficiency in various sectors and its impact on economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, budget efficiency refers to the government's ability to manage funds distribution by the central and regional governments. Through the effectiveness and efficiency of managing the state revenue and expenditure budget, or APBN, is very important to achieve sustainable economic growth and public welfare. Budget efficiency economic growth refers to manage and use the budget optimal to support the achievement of sustainable economic growth. Budget efficiency on economic growth has a very significant impact in both the short and long run. They are, first, increasing productivity of resources, such as infrastructure, education, and health. Second, more optimal utilization of budget resources. Budget efficiency in the right way and on time. Third, increasing public welfare. Budget efficiency can help to maintain a healthy fiscal balance, reduce the budget deficit, and avoid excessive debt. Fourth, increasing public welfare. Budget efficiency focus on programs that improve the quality of the commodity, such as better education, better health service, and reducing poverty. 5. Job creation. Budget efficiency in strategic sectors, such as infrastructure and industry, can create new jobs through unemployment. Ladies and gentlemen, if implemented with the right strategy, budget efficiency can provide significant positive impact, such as, first, improving the quality of economic growth. Second, improving fiscal stability. Third, increasing national competitiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, but on the other hand, budget efficiency is carried out without careful planning. It can actually have negative impacts. They are, first, decreasing the quality of public service. Second, it can slow down economic growth. Third, increasing unemployment. Ladies and gentlemen, Agus Pambagio in Jurnal Apresiasi Pertumbuhan Ekonomi on January 15, 2025 emphasized that budget efficiency policy, because it was considered unified and could sacrifice other important sectors. According to him, budget efficiency is not sacrifice other important sectors. Meanwhile, President Prabowo Subianto, through Presidential Instruction number 1 of 2025, emphasizing the importance of budget efficiency is to implement fund allocation, increase accountability, and maximize the impact of government priority programs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's necessary to emphasize that budget efficiency is very important in the management. Is budget efficiency so not sacrifice? So, ladies and gentlemen, but on the other hand, budget efficiency is carried out without the effectiveness and efficiency, so not sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, it's necessary to emphasize that. I would like to apologize if in my speech there are not pleasing to all of. That's all, and thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just want to give you not a question, but what is your topic in your speech?
Okay, thank you, the honorable judges and the honorable ladies and gentlemen. This topic, the speech, about the budget efficiency in various sectors and its impact on economic growth. Thank you, judges.
Okay, budget efficiency in various sectors and its impact on economic growth. I just want you to tell me about, in your speech you say that various sectors. Can you tell me only one sector who impact on the economic growth? Just one.
Okay, thank you, judges. I will explain and I will give you just one sectors about the budget efficiency. And the sectors about the budget efficiency for the education. For example, in my school now, they use the computer-based test in our formative assessment in our school. So I think through the budget efficiency, can reduce the using the paper text in our school. Thank you, judges.
Okay, thank you.
A very inspiring and touching speech.
Exactly. I can wait for the next participant.
All right, with a round of applause, let's welcome participant number 6.
Good morning, peace be upon all of us. The honorable all judges, the honorable teacher from every high school in Ngada Regency, and my beloved friends who are in this place. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let us express our gratitude to the presence of God Almighty, because with His blessing to protection, we can gather on this place in good health in order to celebrate National Education Day. Before I deliver my speech, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Maria Serlina Oki. On this occasion, I deliver my speech, Office Stationery Budget Efficiency Digitalized Solution with Application. My good audience, budget efficiency is the ability to utilize financial resources in a more optimal way so that the result can maximize benefits at the most efficient cost. For a country, budget efficiency is very important in maintaining economic and ensuring limited budget can be used for the greatest benefits of the community. Without efficiency, we risk facing waste and misallocation of funds. For example, in the education sector, efficient budget allocation can pressure educational equipment. However, without efficiency, careful planning, even a large note will have a maximum impact. Ladies and gentlemen, Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani Indrawati has decided to cut office stationery budget by 90%. This cut is the largest compared to other spending items in ministries and institutions. With this budget reduction, agencies must adapt to new solutions, one of which in the implementation of digital document and repository correspondence application. This solution not only helps reduce costs, but also increase work efficiency and support environmentally friendly programs. Ladies and gentlemen, there are several solutions in reducing of office stationery for people who are not yet accustomed of the reduction in budget efficiency in office stationery itself. The first is dependence on cycle documents. Most agencies still use cycle correspondence, printed document, and manual stationery in their administrative processes. Without sufficient budget, these operations are hampered. The second is resistant to change. Many employees who are accustomed to manual tend to find it difficult to adapt to digital system. Lack of understanding and technological skill can be taken obstacle in the digitalism process. The third is the availability of digitalism infrastructure. Digitalism transformation requires adequate hardware and software. Not all documents has infrastructure ready for the implementation and correspondence application, and finally, security and regulatory compliance. Digital documents must meet government, security, and regulatory standards and ensure the validity and protection of data. Ladies and gentlemen, for example, in the educational institution, semester system carried out by students no longer uses the writing method but rather on online method using cell phones or computers. This can show that this educational institution has reduced use of office stationery in a simple way and started from the smallest thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make this change a real step towards occasion a more efficient, environmentally friendly, and adaptive for environment educational institution. If the awards are occasion, not parents pleasing, have asked to the attendings, I apologize. Thank you for your attention. Good morning. Peace be upon all of us.
Okay, thank you so much, my sweet student. Nice to hear what have you told us here through your speech. Once again, more relaxed, yeah? More relaxed. Don't be afraid, because all of us here are men and women, the same as you. You are very nice. Your face are very nice, very, very nice. Your speech is very good.
Thank you.
And talking about budget efficiency digitalis, can you give me an example efficiency digitalis in your school? Only one example.
Okay, thank you all judges, thank you my audience. My opinion, for example, school elimination, for example, online elimination, school of information by daring. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. See you next time.
Suzy Kassem once said, "Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will."
And let us welcome participant number 7 with a big applause.
Every rupiah we must productive, not just wasted in vain. Good morning, all of you. The Honorable all of the judges, the Honorable all of the participants. First of all, let us say thanks to God because He gave us the big blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, the budget is one of the most crucial aspects of an organization, government, or household. Every rupiah spent has an impact, whether small or large. Therefore, today, I would like to speak about the budget we manage is used effectively and appropriately. Budget effectiveness is not merely about spending the available funds, but also about ensuring that these funds generate optimal benefits. A well-managed budget must align with actual needs, be transparent, and provide maximum results of society. However, we often encounter various issues in budget management, such as wasteful spending, misallocation, and lack of transparency. These problems not only harm financial resources, but also hinder development and the overall well-being for society. Ladies and gentlemen, we all share the responsibility of ensuring that every rupiah we manage is utilized in the best possible way. There are several steps we can take to enhance budget effectiveness. First, comprehensive planning. Every expenditure must be well planned and aligned with actual needs. Proper planning helps us avoid unnecessary spending. Second, transparency and accountability. All stakeholders should have access to budget utilization information to prevent any mismanagement. Transparency fosters public trust in budget allocation. Third, evaluation and oversight. Budget usage must be consistently evaluated to allow for future improvements. Regular evaluation ensures that the budget is used according to its intended purpose. Fourth, prioritizing public needs. Every rupiah should be allocated to initiatives that genuinely benefit society at large. Budget funds must not be used solely for the interest of a select few without broader public impact. And the last, efficiency in management. We must explore ways to maximize the available budget while achieving greater outcomes. This may include adopting cost-effective technologies or improved work methodologies. Ladies and gentlemen, budget effectiveness is not the responsibility of the government or financial managers. It is a collective duty for all of us as members of society. If we aspire to see progress and equitable development, we must be concerned with how budgets are utilized. Active participation in monitoring, providing input, and educating the public about responsible budget usage will have a tremendous impact. Ladies and gentlemen, you can imagine if every rupiah spent truly yielded benefits. We would witness rapid development, improved public welfare, and stronger trust in government institutions. Therefore, let us work together to ensure that every rupiah spent is truly meaningful. If we can implement these principles, every rupiah we manage will serve its true purpose. No more wasted budget, and development can proceed more swiftly and equitably. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of my speech, I want to say, let us cultivate awareness of the importance of budget effectiveness, for with proper management, we can create a brighter future for our nation and our country. That's all my speech. I hope what I have presented can be beneficial for all of us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The short question, just about your speech. The first of all, I want to say sorry. There are one words that make me don't know. That is, imagine if every rupiah spent truly yielded benefits. Can you give me some a synonym yielded benefits, synonym of yield?
I'm sorry, one again, please.
Yeah. Yielded benefits in the sentence of, imagine if every rupiah spent truly yielded benefits. Can you give me the synonym of another words with same with yield? Get relaxed, please.
Thank you. I will try answer your question.
Oh, yeah.
The synonym of
Yield.
yielded benefits is
Okay. Don't be afraid, please. Don't be afraid. Relax. Get relaxed. If you don't know the synonym, can you give me the meaning of yielded benefits? The meaning of yielded benefits.
yielded of benefits.
Means?
Means the yielded of benefits is will we use it the budget is the possible way.
Okay, thank you so much.
A person who never made mistake never tried anything.
All right, let's welcome participant number 8 with round applause.
Okay, participant number 8, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Father and Madam Principals, the Honorable Judges, all teachers, and also my beloved friends. Ladies and gentlemen, let us express our gratitude to God who has given us the opportunity to gather here today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a true pleasure to meet you today. Today, I stand before you to discuss a pivotal initiative undertaken by President Prabowo Subianto's administration, the drive for budget efficiency within the Indonesian government. On January 22, 2025, President Prabowo issued Presidential Instruction number 1 of 2025, mandating a substantial reduction in national and regional expenditures totaling approximately 306.7 trillion. This directive aims to streamline government spending and reallocate resources toward programs that directly benefit the populace. Ladies and gentlemen, a significant portion of the savings is intended to fund the Free Nutritious Meal, or AMBG program, designed to provide free lunches to over 82 million school children and pregnant mothers. This initiative underscores the administration's commitment to enhancing public welfare and investing in human capital. However, the austerity measures have sparked debate. Critics argue that the budget cuts affecting sectors such as public services, infrastructure maintenance, and disaster preparedness could hinder economic growth and essential services. For instance, the Public Works Ministry faces a budget reduction of 81 trillion rupees, potentially impacting infrastructure projects vital to national development. Ladies and gentlemen, furthermore, these measures have led to public dissent, notably among students. The Indonesia Gelap protests reflect concern over the potential adverse effect of the budget cuts on education, employment, and regional development. The hashtag Indonesia Gelap trended widely on social media, symbolizing fears about the nation under these austerity measures. In response to this concern, the administration emphasized that the budget efficiency measures are designed to eliminate non-essential expenditures, such as excessive official travel and ceremonial events. The goal is to ensure that government spending is both effective and beneficial to the broader population. Ladies and gentlemen, additionally, the government has launched the Danantara Sovereign Wealth Fund, aiming to manage state assets more and attract strategic investment. This initiative seeks to bolster the nation's economic resilience and ensure sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, while the budget efficiency measure introduced by President Prabowo Subianto's administration aim to optimize government spending and enhance public welfare, it is crucial to balance austerity with the need to maintain essential services and super economic growth. Ongoing dialogue between the government and its citizens is vital to navigate these challenges and ensure that the nation's development remains inclusive and sustainable. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is all my speech. Thanks for your keen attention. I apologize for any shortcoming in my speech. Thank you.
Good spirit, girl.
Thank you, Mom.
I like it. Okay. On paper state that a significant portion of the saving is intended for free nutrition meal program. So, free nutrition meal is a program, or is it the impact of budget efficiency?
Can you repeat again your question, ma'am?
The free nutrition meal is a program of the president, or is the impact if we saving money? I mean, if we do budget efficiency in saving money and we can get a free nutrition meal.
Free nutrition meal, a program to free nutrition meal to school children and pregnant mothers is all, Master. Thank you.
So do you agree with this program?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, girl.
Thank you, participant number 8, for the wholesome speech.
And now we will welcome participant number 9 with a round of applause.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Salve, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, good morning and best wishes to all of us. Dear honorable adjudicators and dear fellow participants. First and foremost, let us together express our gratitude to the Almighty God for the blessing that enable us to participate in this English speech competition in good health. On this special occasion, I would like to deliver a speech entitled Budget Efficiency as a Double-Edged Sword, Economic Stability or Social Regression. A budget, it's like a double-edged sword. Wield it wisely and it builds a nation. Wield it carelessly and it cuts down its own future. Ladies and gentlemen, budget efficiency is a necessity for economic stability. Government and institutions strive to allocate resources effectively, reduce waste, and ensure that spending leads to measurable benefit. A well-structured budget can strengthen a nation's financial health and create room for long-term development. However, efficiency in budgeting is not just about cutting costs. It is about making strategic financial decisions that do not compromise essential public service or social welfare. If implemented without careful planning, budget efficiency can turn into a tool for austerity, leading to social inequality, economic stagnation, and the erosion of critical institutions. Government with strict but rational budget policies can lower national debt, maintain fiscal discipline, reduce waste, and prevent unnecessary expenditures. A well-balanced budget fosters economic resilience, allowing countries to respond better to financial crises. Smart allocation of funds also allows government to prioritize key sectors like infrastructure, innovation, and job creation, driving long-term economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know, our President, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, issues Presidential Instruction Number 1 of 2025, focusing on spending efficiency to reduce state expenditures. Through this policy, Indonesia successfully saved 306 trillion rupiah in 2025, or about 8% from the approved budget. Let us think about this carefully. If the government wants to save money, why is the cabinet getting bigger with more ministers and deputy ministers? And how come the cabinet keep expanding while the public service agencies are being cut? Ladies and gentlemen, despite its advantage, budget efficiency can have several negative consequences if misapplied. Excessive cost cutting over resulting in the underfunding of crucial sectors, such as healthcare, education, and public welfare. Hospitals may suffer from staff shortage. Schools may lack proper facilities, and the social protection program may weaken. The education budget was reduced, resulting in fewer scholarship programs and delays in school construction in several remote areas. Meanwhile, the healthcare sectors faced a 19.6 trillion cuts, affecting on hospital service, medicine subsidies, and the free healthcare program for the underprivileged community. With so many layoffs happening in the different sectors, what is the government do to protect the worker or create new jobs? Another major risk of extreme budget efficiency is the widening gap between the rich and the poor. When the government prioritizes financial discipline over social equity, the most disadvantaged groups are often the first to suffer. Wealthier individuals and corporations may continue to drive the tax incentive and the regulation, while low-income families struggle with the reduce of public service. In the worst cases, frustration over austerity measures can lead to social unrest and the loss of public trust in the government. Based on data, budget efficiency resulting in reduced business trips, seminars, and technical guidance events have impact on domestic tourist visit, causing hotel room occupancy rates to drop drastically. The tourism sectors, particularly the hospitality industry, has experienced a decline in East Nusa Tenggara due to these budget efficiency measures. So how is the government dealing with this problem? Ladies and gentlemen, budget efficiency shouldn't mean cutting everything. The government must be smart, reduce wisely, and not just less. Things like education, health, and infrastructure are investment, not costs. And with more transparency and public input, we can avoid policies that hurt the people the most. In conclusion, budget efficiency is not simply good or bad. It is depend on how it is implemented. If it done wisely, it will support economic stability and reduce waste. But if it done carelessly, it will harm essential service and worsen inequality. True efficiency means spending on purpose, balancing fiscal responsibility with the well-being of the people. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end my speech, I would like to sincerely apologize for any inconvenience or misunderstanding they may have occurred. Thank you for your attention and see you again in another occasion.
Okay, thank you. Your performance today, that I can say that you may or you play all the things about the speech, like your fluency or your body language. But I want to give you a question. In your topic or your title today, you say that budget efficiency as a double-edged sword, economic stability or social regression. I just want you to explain to us about double-edged sword, please.
Okay, thank you for the question. So what I mean about double-edged sword, it's I want to explain in my speech about the two sides of budget efficiency. Because the double-edged sword, it means one side. I tell about the good side of budget efficiency, and the other side I talk about the bad side of the budget of this budget efficiency. Thank you.
What a beautiful speech from the participant number 9.
And now, let's welcome participant number 10 with a big applause.
Peace be upon you all. Good morning, all of you. The Honorable, all of the judges, and the Honorable of the participants. First of all, I would like to thank to God who has been giving us blessings and mercies so that we can gather in this place in a healthy and a good condition. Ladies and gentlemen, education is a crucial pillar in shaping of our youth. However, in this era, need special attention for students related to food. Therefore, today, I would like to speak about budget efficiency in education that impact the free lunch programs. Ladies and gentlemen, starting in the year 2025, Indonesia implemented a free nutritious lunch programs from school children throughout Indonesia. The program is one of President Prabowo's program stated in Presidential Instruction number 1 of 2025. This instruction was issued on 22 January 2025. This program aims to support child growth and development and improve the quality of education by ensuring fulfillment of nutritional needs. This program is a form of government attention to the importance of nutrition for school-age children by ensuring that students get sufficient nutritional intake. It is hoped that students can focus more on studying and grow healthy. From an educational perspective, this program is expected to improve students' focus and learning achievement. The food they eat has a big influence on students' thinking power and concentration. The hope is that these programs can run well and bring real benefits for the future of the younger generation. Ladies and gentlemen, many people think that will the free lunch programs initiated by government run effectively? In my opinion, these free lunch programs is very effective and right on target. Because of this program, students can save their expenses. This is very helpful for parents, especially for families who are economically disadvantaged. Anyone think freelance is a waste of money? That is not true. In fact, these programs is a strategic step to create a more qualified generation. Freelance is designed to meet the nutritional needs of students so that it has an impact on improving the quality of human resources in Indonesia. With a healthy, intelligent, and superior young generation, Indonesia will have a great opportunity to compete in foreign countries. Ladies and gentlemen, freelance is very helpful in solving serious problems in Indonesia, especially for vulnerable groups. These groups include toddlers, children, pregnant women, and breastfeeding mothers. This program aims to ensure that the daily nutritional needs of the community, especially children and mothers, can be met properly according to nutritional education standards. The freelance programs is designed to stimulate the local economy by involving UMKM, farmers, and fishermen. By involving local business sectors, these programs can have a positive impact on the welfare of the wider community. The freelance programs has various strategic impacts both in the food economy, health, education, and food security. The free nutritious meal programs is also a very important strategic effort in realizing Indonesia Emas 2045.
These programs not only focuses on improving the nutritional status of the community, but also on improving the local economy, improving the quality of education and food security. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of my speech today, I want to say, let's support these programs, not only giving bad comments, but we together realize these government programs that is very helpful for the community, especially for families with sufficient economy, specifically in the field education. The budget specifically for students, namely the freelance programs, is very beneficial for our students for a good future. Don't kill this program. Don't turn it off. Let's improve together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your performance. In your speech, you say that this program is a strategic step to create a more qualified generation. The question is, did you feel that freelance to create a more qualified generation? Are you sure that these programs will create a more qualified generation? A short answer. Are you sure that these programs will create a qualified generation?
Thank you for your question. Yes, I sure.
Okay, thank you.
The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory.
Let's welcome participant number 11 with a big applause.
Participant number 11, the stage is yours.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Before we continue, let us first express our gratitude to God Almighty, who has given us the opportunity to gather here today. The honorable judges, our organizer, teachers, and our participants are be happy. I'm Veronica Juliana, participant number 11. It is truly a honor for me to stand here, speaking in front of you all. Today is not just an ordinary day, it is a day filled with enthusiasm, knowledge, and inspiration. With that spirit, allow me to deliver my speech on an important topic, budget efficiency in the role of civil servant and government. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Indonesian government recently announced a budget efficiency policy as a strategy step to improve state financial management. This step was taken in response to various criticisms regarding the use of the budget, which was considered less efficient and not on target. The central government, through the Ministry of Finance, or Kemenq, is carrying out massive budget efficiency as a follow-up to presidential instruction or Impress number 1 of 2025, concerning expenditure efficiency in the implementation of the APBN and APBD for fiscal year 2025. State civil operators, or ASN, state sovereign, have the main responsibility in providing the best service to the community. Hence, the importance of ASN support in totality, loyalty, integrity, and commitment to the state. Ladies and gentlemen, considering that in 2025, budget management will be an important concern for many government institutions and observers. The need to optimize available resources in the face of shifting global economic conditions has announced the implementation of budget efficiency policies that have fundamentally changed the way government works. ASN, which is directly responsible for implementing various public policies and programs, was also affected. Now, according to the latest data from the National Civil Service Agency, or PKN 2025, there are 1.789,515 non-ASN employees registered. Of this number, 1.608,743 have signed up for the 2024 Phase 2 PPPK selection. If you're not registered yet, make sure to update your data to ensure a smooth selection process. The data continue to increase significantly every year, reflecting the rising demand for jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest concerns for non-ASN employees in Ngada Regency is the emerging issue of their data being removed from the national staffing database. Teachers, healthcare workers, and other contract employees all play an important role in public service. They work hard to fulfill our shape in one motto: developing villages, organizing cities. Many people think that removing contract workers is part of budget efficiency affecting honorary workers in Ngada. But let's see it positively. The government issue this efficiency does not take away the rights of ASN and non-ASN workers. So, what does budget efficiency mean in our daily lives? It's not just about saving money. It's about managing and using resources wisely for the good of everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the tariff recently imposed by Donald Trump on empowers and expowers are one way to achieve budget efficiency. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, one way to achieve government is working on fair tariff agreements that benefit both sides. So, what can we do as young students, the futures of the nation? Should we just stay silent? Of course, no, ladies and gentlemen. We must rise and support our country to love and loyalty to our homeland. How? By using local products, supporting food security with local farming, bringing back traditional food, avoiding unnecessary collaboration, and choosing to save and spend wisely for the good of our people and our nation. Big change doesn't need to start big. It starts with us every day, with every small choice we make. Let's not waste for others to aid. Let's be the ones who lead. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just a government issue, but it's our responsibility too. We are young, we are capable, and we are ready, not just to speak, but to aid, not just to dream, but to build. Now is the time, let's start today. Everybody, come on, come on. Let's imagine together of people not implement. Yet our government is working tariff, budget efficiency. So, this nation repeat the track, path of the new or the era? No, we don't know anymore. So, I want to invite you all from the mind to inspiration. Speak from the her to her, hand in hand, and move forward together in sharing that no one is left behind. Thank you.
Okay, nice girl. You said on your speech that as a teenager, we not just to speak, but to act. Yeah. So can you give the real example on your daily life about budget efficiency that you can do?
Okay, thanks for the question, judges. As far as I know, we have to do the implementation of budget efficiency like using the local products. And for examples in Ngada Regency there is regional waving name Lavo. Next on, bringing back traditional food. For examples in Ngada Regency, in Utatakba, yes. Utatakba itu mix corn and vegetables.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you. So I have one question. It's not a question actually. I just want you to share with me. If I give you 10,000 as the realization of budget efficiency, if I give you 10,000, should you buy food with your friends and you buy to others, or you just buy 5,000 and 5,000 I will give or saving, or what else? What will you do? If I give you 10,000, you will saving 5,000, or you just buy it for your friend also, the snack for your friend also?
Same friends.
Or do you just buy for your friends also? It means that you spend all 10,000 for one time.
Okay, repeat the quotation.
Okay. If I have 10,000 extra for you, and I want you, this is for you, and you just go to canteen and buy something. And when you at the canteen, you find some friends come, yes, just buy for me too, just buy for me too. And you say, no, I get it from the teacher, and I have in mind that 5,000 I will buy 5,000, and 5,000 I will saving.
I was saving.
Because we talk about budget efficiency. Okay, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, the only thing that can make a dream impossible is the fear of failure.
And welcome participant number 12. Let's get
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable the juries, the participants, and all my beloved audience. Thanks for the chance is given to me. First of all, let us thanks to the Lord Almighty God. Because of His blessing and guidance, we could gather here in good conditions. For the certain time, allow me to deliver my speech entitled Pro and Contra of Budget Efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, budget efficiency is not just about saving money, but rather the ability to allocate available resources effectively and efficiently to achieve predetermined goals, or to use available resources in the most effective and efficient way to achieve the desired result. Ladies and gentlemen, budget efficiency is not just about saving money, but rather the ability to allocate available resources effectively and efficiently. President Prabowo Subianto conducted a massive presidential #1 of 2025. President Prabowo emphasizes that this step was taken for the sake of the Indonesian people, not for the interest of certain groups or individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, President Prabowo issues presidentials #1 of 2025. Budget were 306.7 trillions, one of which aims to support the free nutrition food programs. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this step was taken for the sake of the Indonesian people, not for the interest of certain groups or individuals. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, I invite all of us Ladies and gentlemen, whatever government's policy Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, I invite all of us Ladies and gentlemen, I invite all of us budget efficiency in Indonesians has become the government's focus. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is what I want to say. Thank you.
The simple questions. Which part do you, pro or contra, about budget efficiency? You will pro or contra about budget efficiency with the government program about budget efficiency. Which part? Pro or contra?
Pro.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the speech from participant number 12.
All right, now let's welcome participant number 13 with a big applause.
Imagine all of you here paying for 5 streaming services, but only watching one. Imagine that you buying your notebook just because it looks cute, then never writing in it. Or buying a new game because it looks fun, but after one day, you never open it again. See, these little habits can waste both time and money without us even realizing it. Being smart about how we spend is not about being cheap. It's about using what we have wisely. My name is Diego Sanvitores Nono. I am from Mataloco Seminary St. John.BERKHMANS. And today, I'd like to talk about the importance of priority in our daily life. That's it. No big deal, not a big topic, just about priority. 1 year ago, I received some money as a birthday gift from my family. And like most teenagers, I directly thought of buying something fun. New headset, snack for my friends, or some online games. I was very excited. But then, I looked at my school bag. It was old and torn. My shoes were also wearing out. At that moment, I had to make a choice. Should I spend the money on something I wanted, or maybe use it for something I truly needed? It wasn't easy. For a long time, I struggled to choose. But finally, I chose to buy new bag and shoes. They didn't look very cool, but they were useful. And that simple decision taught me something important. Being smart with money means knowing what matters most. This is what we call budget efficiency, the ability to manage your budget in a way that helps you to achieve your financial goals easily. Ladies and gentlemen, when we think about people who achieve bright future, reach their goals, their dreams, and they always succeed in their job, maybe sometimes all of us ask how they can be like that. Or maybe sometimes we ask ourselves, why I can be like that? We have done this, done that, but it all seems useless. Well, actually, the mistake is not in us, but in the values we live by. Because of that, in this speech, I'd like to tell you why priorities are so important to our life. Let's look together at the bigger picture. Recently, in January 2025, the Indonesian government has implemented budget efficiency policy of 306 trillion with the aim to support government's priority program such as education, healthcare, and also freelance program for students. The question for us is, why they do that? Because even a government must do what's most important. They can do everything at once, just like us. The same principles apply to our daily life. We may not be running a country, right? But we are all here managing something just as important, our future. So, how do we become efficient with our budget? Ladies and gentlemen, 1 year ago, when I was in year 10, I took an economics class in my school. One of the first things we discussed was the concept of priority scale. When my friends and I started to listen, our teacher gave us a challenge. We had a limited budget and had to decide how to spend it on. Maybe for books, savings, or entertainment. And to be honest, at first I wanted to buy fun things. Like maybe sometimes I buying snacks, or maybe treat my friends in Alphamart. But then, I quickly realized that if I spend too much on unnecessary, I wouldn't have enough for essential, like food and school supplies. It all starts with understanding 3 simple categories. 1, must have. things we absolutely needed, like food and education. 2, should have. Things that were important for us, but not urgent, like saving money. And 3, nice to have. It is fun, but unnecessary, like eating out or buying gadgets. See, all of you here may face a difficult situation when you are going to decide what to spend your money on, just like me. Well, actually, by understanding the 3 simple categories that I have explained earlier, all of you here can easily decide where you will spend your money on. If we learn to spend more on need, save a little, and control our wants, we are already on the path to success. That's cool, isn't it? Let's take an example from real life. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, he started his business with very little money. Instead of spending it on comfort or maybe luxury, he prioritized this investment in people and technology. And see, today, he is one of the most successful businessmen in the world. And let's keep in mind, in the words of Warren Buffett, one of the richest businessmen in the world, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything that is not important. So, ladies and gentlemen, what to take away? Budget efficiency is not about money. It's also about focus, discipline, and having the courage to say no to what doesn't really matter. When you manage your budget well, you also learn how to manage your life better. Sometimes prioritizing my needs over something I want can be boring, but I always remind myself that every start is always difficult before it's easy, right? So in this speech, I want to invite all of you here to differentiate between needs and wants, because success doesn't happen overnight. It comes from consistently putting needs above wants. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't let money rule your life. Start managing your money wisely and see how your future changes. Because in the end, it's not about how much money you have, but how wisely you use it. So I'm asking you now, are you spending your money just to feel good today? Or maybe planting seeds for a better tomorrow? Because your future is not built by luck. It's built by the choices you make today. That's all. Thank you for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you, Diego. Yeah, I am very interesting
Thank you.
with what you speech today. Yeah, and the mastering of your budget for a better future. So, the first question. What will you be? What will you be? Become a priest or ordinary people like us here?
Thank you for the question. I think the answer is very simple. And now I think I would like, I don't know about my future. Maybe I will be the normal people, or maybe I will be the priest. But right now, I still have the spirit to continue my way in Matuloko Seminary to be priest. And I really hope that sometimes in the future, I can be Isfedi. I can be the priest. Because I think be priest is like the best goal in my mind now.
Okay, thank you. The second. You will be or to be a priest. For you know that school fee in seminary and in another high school is very, very different. In seminary, the school fee is very, very expensive. And in another school is cheap. So, how about, or what do you think about a budget for a future?
But for a future.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question. In my speech, I have already explained about priority. And I think budget efficiency like have the connection with priority. And about the budget for the future, I think priority is like one solution for all of us here, so we can have like bright financial goals. Why I say so? Because with priority, for example, I only have like 1,100 rupiah, and I must decide how to use that money. We know that 100,000 rupiah is very little in Indonesia. The values is very little. So with this money, we must like with priority. Priority will guide us. So we know what we will spend or what we will use the money on something. So with priority, like the three categories that I've explained earlier, and in the first is must have, things we absolutely needed, and two, it should have, and in the third is nice to have. So I think with priority that I have told in my speech, we can like manage our budget well. So with this way, we can like have a bright future in our financials. That's all. Thank you.
Once more.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in your speech, you say that it all starts with understanding three simple categories. The third, nice to have. It is fun, but unnecessary things like eating out and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But sometimes I see you get out from school and eating outside without promise from your priest. Can you give me the reason?
Okay, thank you for the question. The question is, sometimes I like go to Alfamart, but I don't like tell to my formator why I do this. To be honest, living in Matuloko Seminary can be boring. Why I say so? Because we in Matuloko Seminary we always do like the same activity every day, from morning until we sleep in the night. In the night. So about this, I can call this is a serious case. When I go out, but I didn't tell my formator. But I do this to like to fulfill my wants, like buying snacks or treat my friends in Alfamart in Matuloko. But when my formator coach me, my formator will angry with me. But I will like, oh formator, please, I'm sorry, please don't judge me. And because our daily activity is always the same. And before I treat my friends in Alfamart or using my money to buy like snacks, I should make sure that I have already to fulfill to buy anything that is very urgent, like my daily needs. That's all. Thank you very much.
The last. Don't be angry. Yeah. You say that sometimes I get out and buy snack. I know that in seminary you have lunch, you have breakfast, you have dinner. So how about budget for better future? In fact, you have lunch, you have dinner, you have
better future.
Yeah, breakfast, but you still get out from the school to get snack in Alfamart. Can you explain?
Thank you for the great question. Well, I think I always have the bright future in my financial. Why I say so? Because I didn't like go out from my school like every day or like every time, but I always go out maybe only once per 2 months, only once per 2 months when I feel it's very boring. And in Mataloco Seminary, my family always like, they always send me my daily needs if I ask. So I think the money that I have, I can use, I can like save, not to buy anything that is not important. So I think I will still always, I will still have the bright future in my financial situation. Thank you very much.
Finally, I just hope, be careful in the next, please. Mind your step, yeah? Mind your step, so you will get your future, as all of us here hope. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, participant number 13 who has given a speech. Now, let's welcome participant number 14 with a big applause.
Participant number 14, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam, salve, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning to honorable judges, honorable teacher, and all the audience. Thank you for the time given to me. My name is Flaviano Ersonipati, and I am from Catholic Kejora Senior High School. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let us praise the Lord for His blessing and mercy which allow us to gather here in a good condition. As Nelson Mandela once said, that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. However, how can we effectively wield this powerful weapon if we don't manage our research with care and wisdom? So today, ladies and gentlemen, and all the audience, I would like to discuss the impact of budget efficiency in education. Budget efficiency is an effort to optimize the use